I'm extremely thankful to you. I want to narrate one small Australian experience of mine, because all of you are narrating your personal experience and the blessings and the boon that you have derived out of the recitation of Vishnu Sahasranama for your family, for your children and all that. See, since years and years and almost decades I have been actually making people to chant this, to come into the mainstream of chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. Just basically I trigger the interest in them, act as a catalyst or motivating force. They start off. What happened when I started Vishnu Sahasranama Chakras all across, I thought of writing a book, and I have written a book on Vishnu Sahasranama in English, a 600-page book. And when it was released by the governor of Karnataka in India, it created a new history. In 12 countries in the world, the book was released on a very massive scale, and mostly people who went through the book declared and expressed that it's the best book on Vishnu Sahasranama available in English so far. And one person called Ramaswarupananda, who was the secretary of Divine Life Society and who served Swami Shivananda and who served Swami Chidananda for more than 25 years, he has been actually taking the message of yoga, pranayama, meditation to different parts of the world. And in 2008, he came to Melbourne. When he came to Melbourne in 2008, his lectures and my lectures were organized by Yoga Center, Vasudeva Kriya Yoga Center of Melbourne, Mr. Rajendra. He came to Melbourne. Then immediately he had a program in the International Yoga Conference in Japan. So he told me that he will be going for a week in Japan. And meanwhile, I had a program in New Zealand, Adelaide. So I went to New Zealand, Adelaide. While going from Melbourne to Japan, he took my book, Vishnu Sahasranama English book, from Rajendra's house, telling him that in flight he will be reading it. He went to Japan. While coming back, he was completing the reading of the entire book. He came to Melbourne. And Rajendra went to the airport to pick him. He was bringing him in the car from the airport. Suddenly, half the way from the airport, there was a heart attack to Ramaswarupananda. Massive heart attack to Ramaswarupananda. Immediately, he was taken to a hospital. And the hospital authorities, they told that immediately angio should be done, and in 3 days bypass should be done. He is in a very critical condition. After 2 days, he recovered, and he came to know that they are going to do bypass. Immediately, he called all his friends in Melbourne and told, "I'm not afraid of dying, but I don't want to die on the soil of Australia. And just after landing in India, I want to die on the land, on the soil of India. So please lift me from this hospital." And all the disciples and friends of Ramaswarupananda requested the hospital authorities. They told the condition of the patient is not travel worthy, and the takeoff or the time of landing, chances are very dim, so we will not take the chances. Much more than that, when such a patient with massive heart attack is in such a condition, if you release him, discharge him, the name of the hospital will be appearing in our televisions and magazines, and attorneys will be putting the case against us. We will not discharge him. And all influencers, recommendation, pressure tactics, whatever that has been done, the government interference was there, but medical authorities refused to release him. But he refused to undergo the bypass because he had decided, particularly on that Friday, he declared it as a Black Friday. He told that every second he was sinking, and he did not like to die on the soil of Australia. But they were not prepared to leave him from the hospital. When all the hopes failed, all his attempts failed, finally remembered the book that I have written, and the last sentence that I have written in this book was, when everything fails, chant Vishnu Sahasranama and take Vishnu Sahasranama, it will come as a last rescue for you. And from there, he remembered it, called Rajendra, ordered him, wherever Parthasarathy is, summon him now and here. I was in New Zealand. After New Zealand, I had Adelaide programs, but Rajendra telephoned me, cancel all your programs, come here. It is a question of life and death. Then we requested all the organizers both in New Zealand and Adelaide. Krishna Prasad of Adelaide was very good and he could understand. They cancelled all my programs. I immediately came to Melbourne. From hospital directly I went to, from the airport I went to the hospital, and the moment I went there, He was in a wheelchair and he came out of his room. Then the moment he saw me, I still remember, he said, Vishnu, Jishnu, Mahavishnu, Prabhu Vishnu, Maheshwaram, Lord Mahavishnu has come in the Parthasarathy's guise, and now Gajendra Moksha takes place. I will be liberated, I will be the happiest man. Lord Vishnu has come on Garuda. I was surprised, and he is having that bhavana. Then I went there inside, and immediately he told, you have given a commitment, when everything fails, Vishnu Sahasranama works, and it will rescue. Now you have to rescue me. Then I shed my tears, because for the first time in my life, I could see a person who has such a tremendous belief in Vishnu Sahasranama. When everything fails, Vishnu Sahasranama works. I had written it, but he had faith, he believed in that. Then I developed that confidence and conviction, and immediately I went near his ears, and in his ear, I chanted the entire Vishnu Sahasranama with complete sincerity and total bhakti, and prayed the Lord, here is a bhakta who is not aspiring for any lockic things, any material thing. He just wants to die on the soil of India. He doesn't want to die on the soil of Australia. Please bless him, lift him, shift him. That was my request. And the next Sunday, we organized a group chanting, taking the permission of the hospital authorities, made him to sit in the prayer hall there in the hospital. We kept that book, Vishnu Sahasranama book, and he closed his eyes. He was completely thinking of Krishna. And I was not merely praying and chanting, but I was experiencing the presence of Vishnu there. And I prayed Vishnu to give that blessing, because in the entire century, I have not come across any bhakta who just thought, aspired, begged to die on the soil of India. That was the prayer. So I made all my prayer. I told, whatever Vishnu Sahasranama movement I have brought, chanting that I have done, let every punya be given to him. Please rescue him, shift him. Then after that, medical authorities, hospital authorities came, they told, it's time you go. 2 hours. Then we went out, we went to Geelong, and after our Geelong visit, we came back after 2:30 in the afternoon. When we came there to the hospital, he came in the wheelchair to the parking lot, waiting there. When we were getting down from the car, he was shouting at the top of his voice, Ramaswarupananda, heart patient, shouting, Parthasarathy ki Zindabad, Vishnu Sahasranama Zindabad, Bharat ki Zindabad, Himalaya Zindabad, Ganga Zindabad. We could not understand what happened to this person. This is a mad shouting. Then he said, Vishnu Sahasranama Zindabad, Vishnu Sahasranama Zindabad. What happened? And he told, after our departure, 2 senior surgeons who were asked to do the surgery, they came for marking purposes for the operation, and they took him to the scanning. They went to body scan, chest scan, CT scan, all that, and they found out the blood circulation has become normal, no blockade, and there is no need for the bypass surgery. After 4 days rest, he can be discharged. They certified, they signed, they went off. That happened in that 3.5 hours gap. He was jubilant. Then afterwards, I went back to India. After 1 month, when we were having, myself and Rajendra of Melbourne, we were having small function in Bangalore. Suddenly one car came, and this person was coming out of the car. He came in. Myself and Bananji Govindacha, we were giving the lectures for the inauguration of the Amrit Yoga Kendra of Rajendra. Just to formality sake, he had posted an invitation. After seeing that, from Haridwar, he came to Delhi by car. From Delhi, he has taken a flight. He came to that function, and I asked him, in this condition you have come. He stood up and he told one thing, you have given Punarjanma to me. It is my duty to come to your doors and to say thank you. Now I want to say thank you to you, and I am getting back. Within just 1 hour, he stayed in Bangalore only for 1 hour, and he said, attitude of gratitude is the ultimate thing in the world. If for small things people say thanks, you have given back Punarjanma. Then I told, it is not me or anything. Vishnu Sahasranama, you had so much of faith, you had so much of conviction, so much of confidence, and naturally God has blessed you through Vishnu Sahasranama. And another thing happened. 3 days, that is 2010, December, possibly 9th or 8th, 2010, December 1st, when I had the program in Melbourne on Vishnu Sahasranama, group chanting and lecture, an email came, and I have forwarded the email to some of you. The email says, he has written, Ramaswarupananda has written, you, Dr. Aralumallige Parthasarathy, I am thankful to you, and you are giving the lecture in Melbourne on Vishnu Sahasranama, where you rescued me. I was in the hell called as the hospital. He says, I was in the hell called as the hospital. It was a hellish day, Black Friday in my life, and I was discharged. See, and you have proved to the world the strength of Vishnu Sahasranama. Let Vishnu Sahasranama be heralded and cherished all across. I thank you. He has written an email recently, which I forwarded. Most of you know Ramaswarupananda. In fact, Lakshmi, Nagaveni and all of you, you know about him. And that is my experience of Vishnu Sahasranama's strength and power in Australia. And Ramaswarupananda, who was the secretary and very close disciple of Swami Chidananda, is a witness, and he himself has expressed about it. Anyhow, thank you very much.
Well, then,